My girlfriend of 4 years rejected my proposal because she wanted more time. AITA for breaking up with her and kicking her out? I, 27M, was in a relationship with my girlfriend, 26F, for 4 years. We really loved each other, my family loved her family loved me. We had discussions of marriage, we made plans for the future, how many kids we wanted. My girlfriend was always extremely excited about it. Over the last few months, I was giving her consistent hints that I was going to propose to her, and last weekend I booked a nice resort, where I would plan to propose to her at a private place. Well, when I did propose to her, she somehow seemed shocked about it, and asked if she could have a few more months. That just completely stunned me and was one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life. My girlfriend kept apologizing, saying she just needed to be in the right mental space, and that right then, she wasn't. She cried and promised me that we were technically engaged, she just needed a few more months to officially accept the proposal. I felt empty, sad, embarrassed. I felt horrible. When we returned back to our apartment, she was apologizing a lot, and there was also a lot of crying. The whole situation for me was so heartbreaking and embarrassing, that I could not talk about it with any of my friends or even my parents. I could only consult my siblings. My siblings had completely contrasting opinions. My brother told me maybe she got cold feet, and a lot of people get cold feet, and to just give her time because she seemed like a genuine person. However, my sister told me what my girlfriend did was girl code for cheating and that my girlfriend was probably ashamed about accepting about my proposal, given that she most likely was having an affair. My sister told me that my girlfriend would probably call off the affair in the next couple of months, after which she would be comfortable accepting the proposal. Completely contrasting opinions, but I sided with my sister because my brother gets a bit naive at times. The more I thought about, the more what my sister said made logical sense, and that just shattered my heart even more. So a couple of days ago, after my girlfriend came home from work, I told her we were done and that she had a couple of hours to pack up and leave. I gave her no heads up about it. I gave no reasons. She was shocked and talking a lot, asking why, but at this point, I just didn't trust her anymore. She obviously cried, but I was over it. A couple hours later, her friend came to pick her up, and I blocked her number so I didn't get any more texts. I am still suffering a lot, and it will take a lot of time to heal through this. AITA?
My daughter pranked my ex's mistress at her wedding, causing her to get diarrhea. My ex is angry. My 42F ex-husband, 44M, cheated on me when we were married. I have two 16-year-old twin daughters who haven't really coped well with their father cheating on their mother with a much younger woman in her 30s. They hate her, and I haven't really encouraged my daughters to consider her a maternal figure. The mistress also knew we were married and were having problems, and she had an equal part in ruining my marriage as she pursued him first. They were working in the same office. I try to maintain a civil relationship with my ex, and we co-parent and have 50-50 custody. After a year now, my husband married the mistress, which personally felt like a slap on my face and a funeral of my marriage, as I still had some love for him, even though he didn't deserve it. I was obviously not a part of the wedding festivities. My daughters are teenagers and act out like teenagers do. Lately, I've seen an increased amount of aggression in them, and their teachers have also brought to my attention that they have bullied a girl who was dating their common friend's ex. It's just not a great situation, and they are currently on the wait list for individual counseling. My daughters do not like the mistress and are very disrespectful towards her. My husband wanted me to intervene and facilitate a civil dynamic, but honestly, why should I care how my daughters treat the woman who tore apart our family? Don't get me wrong, I hate him more than her, but we could have resolved our issues on our own if she hadn't inserted herself in our marriage. There's always a possibility. Anyway, during the rehearsal dinner, the bride apparently had to leave for the bathroom every 5 minutes. It turns out she got diarrhea and was pretty upset about it. The next day, her stomach issues weren't as bad, but it was still a miserable day for her, and as a bride, I can understand the fear of exploding one from your bum. She had constant pain in her stomach the entire day, and my ex had to postpone his honeymoon because she developed a stomach bug. It's safe to say her nuptials and post-nuptials were ruined, haha. My daughters gleefully told me that they had crushed up some strong laxatives and spiked her food with them. The right approach would have been to scold them for what they did, but I did have a good laugh over it. I did tell them that what they did was inappropriate and they shouldn't repeat it, but I'm not going to punish them for it as I understood where their actions came from. I do not condone it, but I still had a good laugh over it. My husband found out what had happened, and he wants to ground our two daughters. He wants to take away their phones for a whole month, but I purchased them new ones. They had an iPhone XS, and they both turned 17 in 2 weeks, so I consider it a birthday gift, when they got here. I disagreed with him and told him that when my daughters stay with me, I'm not going to punish them for a silly prank. To their credit, they didn't intend to ruin her wedding day, that's why they decided to prank her only at the rehearsal dinner. I just don't think punishing them when they are hurting like this is going to help. My husband has no intention of ever telling the mistress what my daughters did, though. She probably thinks she has food poisoning or intolerance, and doesn't want to discuss it out of embarrassment. AITA?
I'm going to sue my ex because she falsely accused me. So I was with my ex, Kate, for 7 years, and we were planning to get married. I started to notice that something was off 6 months ago because she was distant, cold, and overprotective with her phone, and Kate's reply was always "it's just a stressful period" every single time. Something in me told me that she was lying and hiding something, so without telling her, I installed some small cameras inside the house. In my country, this is legal. Long story short, 2 months ago, I found out she was cheating on me, and the worst thing is that I heard a conversation between Kate and the affair partner that they had been together for 5 years. I was shocked, to say the least, because I was suspicious but was praying that I was wrong, but unfortunately, my instinct was right. The thing is that I didn't make any scene. I never cried, shouted, or got mad. I just packed her stuff, and the day after, when she came back from work, I told her that we were over because I knew everything about her affair so she could stay with her AP and then close the door. Unfortunately, one of my friends changed the locks on my house in record time. She was banging on the door, crying, shouting, and yelling the classic cheater stuff. "Please forgive me, I still love you, he is no one to me, it's all a big misunderstanding," and all this type of BS, but I ignored everything. After like 3 hours like this, I got enough and called her parents. It was a very frustrating conversation because, for some reasons, they never liked me and we never had a relationship, but they came to pick her up, and even they told me to forgive her because you can't punish someone for a little mistake. The same day, I blocked her number, but this wasn't enough because she made all her friends and even some of mine text me and call me to forgive her again. It's just a little mistake. But here comes the issue because I never answered to anyone, and 2 weeks later she again texted me, saying, quote, "If you don't reply to me, I will accuse you of SA, so you will be forced to talk to me." Luckily, I took a screenshot of her text, like I did with all the others, but never replied. She kept her word, because only 2 weeks later, 3 cops arrested me for rape. I knew she was the one, but magically the day after she retired, everything changed. I'm a very violent and resentful guy, and on these things, I never joked and took it extremely personally, so after weeks of hesitation, I was the one that sued her for false accusations and malicious compliance. I hope I wrote it right. The trial is still going on, and in a few days I will show her texts, calls, and all the recordings that I made. When she saw my lawyer's papers, she started bombarding my phone with texts and calls and even stayed 3 days at my door. Absolutely crazy. Her words, "Please," I exaggerated. "I know, but don't do this to me." Every text and call was about this, but I honestly don't care, and I won't drop the lawsuit because she is responsible for her actions, and that's it. My friends are saying that I'm going too far with this story and that I should just accept her apology and drop the lawsuit. So AITA for continuing, or should I drop it? I told my wife that if she divorced me, I would quit my job to avoid paying her alimony. Wife of 20 years. We have 3 grown kids ages 18 to 25. I work full-time and make $110K, and my wife works part-time as a realtor and part-time as an event planner. She makes on average about $25K in real estate each year, but I do not know what she makes as an event planner. Her realtor income goes into our joint account along with my income, but her event planning income does not. We pay our bills from the joint account, and she also uses the joint account to buy gas etc. for her businesses. I told her that she needs to bring all of her income to bear or at least deposit part of it into the joint account to help with bills. We got into an argument about it and she called me controlling and threatened divorce. She said she supported my career and I got where I am because she supported me. She said in a divorce she wants half of everything and alimony. I told her she can have half, but there was no way I would take care of her by paying alimony. I said, I would give away all my possessions, quit my job and live on the street before I take care of her after a divorce. She got upset and told our families. My sisters told me that I'm an asshole for not wanting to take care of my wife if we split. My brothers were high-fiving.